On this week's episode of the Dirty Water Breakdown, we will be recapping the Bruins' moves at the trade deadline, talking about the Celtics getting back into their winning ways, the Rob Gronkowski saga, and looking ahead to the NFL draft as the combine looms.
I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you about my town. I'm gonna tell you a big fat story, baby. I'll tell about my town. Yeah, down by the river, down by the banks of the river Charles.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dirty Water Breakdown. I'm your host, Patrick Donnelly, joined again by David Furtado.
What's going on?
Drew Skocky.
What up?
And producer Ryan Donnelly.
Hello.
We're without Curran and Alex again this week.
What a shame.
Yeah, can't really say I'm mad about that.
We missed one of them.
Lot of no quarterback from Richmond who shall not be named talk not going to happen today.
Well,
Actually, I think that is part of the thing on the docket.
You said the draft. I don't know if
I
don't.
thought
Do
we're
we
going
really
over
consider
our
the quarterback from Richmond who shall not be
We're
named
going
a real
over
target?
Patriots quarterback targets.
Is he really a quarterback target?
I mean,
Oh,
depending on who you ask.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, we'll jump into it. The Bruins trade deadline. What an exciting time. I mean, yeah, it was exciting. At 3:00 when the deadline hits and you see all those flurry of moves happen. So Sunday night during that awful, not really awful, but
No, it was awful.
It was
the
awful.
Buffalo getting terrible.
no,
Absolutely horrible.
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Yeah, that's what I meant. During that
That was the Buffalo.
Toronto game
Okay.
that we should have had. Goaltender interference. We'll get into that. Rumors start flying that the Bruins are heavily front runners for Rick Nash, and we're sitting here hoping, hope they don't overpay. And then Sunday morning, after everyone had gone to sleep, Don Sweeney kept working through the night, and we end up acquiring Rick Nash from the New York Rangers. Rick Nash and half of his contract for Ryan Spooner, 2018 first-round pick, 2019 seventh-round pick, half of Matt Bolesky's contract, and defense prospect Ryan Lindgren. So, what do we think?
I think any trade that gets Matt Bolesky out of here is a good one.
Yep.
It's a home run.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think that's why you give it the seventh, so they take Bolesky's contract.
yeah, you're gonna have to give him a lot to take that scrub. But
Yeah.
no, I think it was a good trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything they gave was pretty much expendable as more shameless advertising. Pat, nice job on the article I saw.
Of course.
Round of
Of course.
applause, like always.
Check that out at www.beantownsportshub.com or
Already
.wordpress.com.
Already starting with the shameless plugs.
Yep.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, and I think some of the collateral beauty of the deal, too. Rick Nash helps out the power play, which I saw. They're like, 2 for 36, something like that, in the last 10 games?
Yeah, but they also haven't scored a power play goal with Rick Nash here yet. They had 4
Yeah,
chances
but
the
Rick
other night, and they
Nash
were
is-
terrible.
That kind of goes back that he's going to be on the power play, obviously.
Yeah, he's in front of the net doing a better job of what David Backes is supposed to do.
Yeah,
because
well-
he has more of a scorer's touch than Backes.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. Plus, you get out of $2 million out in the salary cap for the next 3 years, which you would have been doing Bolesky, even though you had to retain.
After the season, too.
Well,
Yeah.
if you look at it just from this year's standpoint, it was essentially everything the deal was just Nash for Spooner straight up as far as what you're getting this
And Lindgren.
as far as what you're
Well,
getting
Lindgren,
Oh, yeah,
this
yeah.
season.
Lindgren's not going to
because
play for the Bruins.
odds are Spooner wasn't coming back at the end of this year, and Nash is an upgrade over Spooner any way you slice it.
And then Lindgren,
so-
never would have played for us anyway. There's just too much depth in
I
front of him.
wouldn't say that, but
I'm just happy to see they're finally going for it.
yeah. I mean, it's
They're
exciting.
they're
that-
actually going.
exciting. We have a legit shot for the first time in 4 or 5 years. I mean,
Yeah,
we
I'd
could
say-
say the
I'd say
President's
since-
Trophy year, but there was no way they were beating Montreal.
No.
But yeah, Ryan Spooner, he was expendable. He was an RFA this summer, so it was either trade his rights or sign him again to another 1 year deal. And he was doing a fine enough job on that right wing, but he was not a long-term solution on that spot. And Ryan Lindgren, left-handed defense prospect,
We have enough of those.
he's a weird situation. He doesn't score a lot, but he's great in his own end. He skates well, and it's kind of weird. Some people say top 4 potential. A lot of people say definitely top 6, but we already have left-handed guys: Krug, Grzelcyk, Lausen, Zaboral in Providence, who are going to be better than him, or should be at least. And then 2018 first, we don't really need that. Farm's already stocked.
And that pick's going to be 25 to 31 in there.
That pick's going to be real late. It's basically a second. And then Bolesky, he was actually playing well in Providence, but then you look at the
Bolesky wasn't playing for the
competition.
Bruins.
It's Matt Bolesky.
Yeah,
It's
so-
like an NHL player in AAA.
So
essentially.
Remember when we were
NHL.
calling him Milan Lucic light?
Yeah, that was what he was supposed to be. But
Yeah, good times.
So part of that was he shoots the puck a ton, or his game is, and that's what it was in Anaheim. But the minutes he got in the Bruins, he wasn't going to be able to shoot the puck at that numbers, and it was a case of, or those numbers. That's a case of the shooting percentage kind of telling you a lie, because during his contract year in Anaheim, his shooting percentage was absurdly high, and that's probably down to a lot of puck luck.
that goes. He's gonna be one of the cautionary stories when you're signing a free agent after one big
Yeah,
year.
that's like the
exactly-
Oilers looking at Lucic right now too.
Exactly.
That's
But no, Lucic was
Lucic was just coming off a 30-goal year, but he was
but
solid last year.
He'd been solid throughout before there.
He hasn't scored a goal in 26 games, 27.
Well, but he at least had a strong track record.
Yeah.
Bolesky literally came out of nowhere, which is going to be similar to what's happening with, what was it, Maroon?
No, Maroon's been doing it. For the most part, he's just having big numbers with. He's been solid.
He's been playing with McDavid.
Yeah,
And that's similar to what happened when he was playing with, what was it, Corey Perry in Anaheim, Bolesky was?
Yeah. After Bolesky left, Maroon was that guy with Getzlaf and Perry. He was fine in Anaheim, even when he wasn't playing with them. He was still doing solid, and then his numbers are kind of inflated because he's playing with McDavid. Yeah. But I think he's still better than Bolesky. He can skate more, even though that's not really saying much because neither of them can really skate.
Hold on, why are we talking about Bolesky? We're supposed to be talking about
All right,
Nash.
yeah. So Rick Nash, that's a great point.
Yeah.
He's a moose.
He's 6'4",
Right.
211.
He's a moose.
I would-
It's not even the size. It's just people bounce off of him.
I know. I was saying last week I didn't want them to get Rick Nash. 2 weeks ago, I didn't want Rick Nash, but seeing that we didn't give up too much aside from maybe Lindgren in the first, and Spooner, I guess, who has 5 assists in 2 games.
But Nash has 2 posts and saved a goal and has a goal. So
Nash has a stick save, a post, 2 posts, an assist, a goal.
Exactly. Yeah, Nash could easily have 4 goals already.
yeah,
Yeah, Nash is also.
I'm not complaining.
He's not a defensive liability like Spooner. He gives you scoring on the wing, which Spooner set up scoring, but you need that scoring winger, especially in the playoffs.
Spooner led the league and like least time of defensive end was highest
The
percentage.
least defensive zone starts.
Yeah, that's what it was. And
Yep.
it was something crazy, 70s, somewhere in the
It was
70s.
70% of zone starts he was not on the ice for.
That's
defensive zone
that's
starts.
just absurd.
Where Rick Nash can play the penalty kill too. He already has. He was on the ice actually in Buffalo for
Yeah,
power
I
play goal
think
for
what
them.
you're getting in Nash is it's a clear upgrade on Krejci's right.
Yeah, he's that
all
big,
in all 3 zones.
he's that big winger that we've starched high and low for since the Lucic Horton days.
He's somebody who can go in front of the net on the offensive zone, just
Yep.
and bang around.
He's got that scorer's
Spooner
touch.
couldn't really do that.
He's in front of the net. He's unbelievable at his tucking it away. He's got an unbelievable shot. He shoots the puck a ton. Patrice Bergeron leads the Bruins in shot attempts per game at 18.1. Rick Nash now leads them with 18.2. But so he shoots the puck in volumes. That's probably why his shooting percentage is down. That's probably a lot of it due to puck luck too, because when you're playing for a team that bad,
Exactly. That's before they made this trade, I was definitely on the Vanek bandwagon. I wanted him because I thought he was going to come cheap. He's not. He's
they
not
could have
a bad
gone
player.
Vanek probably for just Spooner and a 6th or 7th.
no Spooner and Canucks throwing a 6th or a 7th.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, and they made this trade, and I was kind of iffy about it at first, but I was I'm going to see how he plays, and he played.
He's played well in 2
tremendous
games.
in the past 2 games. So I'm all for
Early
it.
returns looks like a win-win. The Pats, not the Pats, the Bruins definitely got someone upgrade over Spooner, and Spooner has pretty much blossomed with the increased role in New York. Last night, what do you have? Yeah, 3 assists last night. One that dime.
Spooner, he had last night. Spooner had 3 assists and an absolute dime on the overtime winner. I don't know how it got through the crease, but it did. But yeah, he's gonna. It's kind of a mutual benefit for both sides because he's gonna finally get a shot to be a top 6 center with New York.
Play defense.
I mean, it's kind of what I don't know. We'll see how that turns out for him.
Yeah. Do we re-sign Nash this offseason?
If he keeps playing like this, you got to explore the option.
Yeah, Sweeney didn't rule it out, but you also got to think about what you got coming in the pipeline.
Exactly. I think right now.
Who's gonna be ready next year?
Right now it's just a rental, but I think if he continues the pace he's
2
on,
years, $8 million. Would you do that?
2 years, $8 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because like he's gonna want a long-term deal because he's entering his glory days.
Yeah. He's only like 32.
34.
I thought he was younger than that.
I'm pretty sure he's 34.
I don't know. Look
I'm
it
gonna
up.
have to, yeah. So, and then Monday, right before the trade deadline, Tommy Wingles for conditional 2019 fifth. The conditions all that.
Who was that?
33.
So, it's 33 going on 34. So conditions on the pick before
Not
we get
until
into
July.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, I kind of want to give that spot to Donato next year, or play DeBrusque on his offside because he's better at that than probably Donato would. Because I think Ryan Donato's definitely with the team next year, but we'll get into that in a couple of minutes. So, 3 o'clock, you see Tommy Wingles for conditional 2019 fifth. Conditions on the pick are if the Bruins make it past the first round of the playoffs this year, or if Wingles resigns after this year because he's a pending UFA, then it turns into a 2019 fourth. So, Wingles, he's been a career bottom six guy. He spent time in San Jose. He's been to Ottawa last. He was in Ottawa last year. I don't remember if it was only season, and then in Chicago this year. So he's been a solid bottom six player his entire career. He's good on the forecheck, brings a lot of energy, good checking guy. For Bruins fans who don't really know him, Noel Acciari on our fourth line. He's a lot like him, probably with a little bit more of an offensive game. Probably he's fast, definitely a faster skater than Acciari too. But
Definitely has potential to be this year's Stafford.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, especially if he plays. But he finishes checks last Tuesday night. Had a snipe in an unbelievable.
Almost two. He clanked one off the post.
Yeah,
right,
he
literally 2 minutes after.
Yeah, rang one off the post. Had a snipe right at the beginning of the second, and right at the end of the first, he had an unbelievable assist for Riley Nash's unbelievable goal. Sorry, I'm not British. Goal. Golazo.
C'est la boule.
C'est la boule. Let's say it in French, like we're in Montreal. Montreal. Yeah, Jack Edwards said it the other night on the broadcast. He's gonna sell some 57 jerseys. Fans are gonna like him. He was great the other night, just as Nash has been great for the 2 games. Like Nash, first 2 shifts, whenever he touched the puck, place was cheering. Scored the goal, the place absolutely erupted.
That goal was nice too.
Yeah, DeBrusque forces the turnover. Krejci slips it in on the beautiful pass.
Nice.
That's like watching Lucic. That's like watching Krejci to Lucic.
I'm still upset they didn't do RIC Nash and RIL Nash.
Yeah, but I kind of like keeping it simple too.
Nah. I mean,
It was like it's like kind of like
when
Nash
else are you gonna have
squares.
this chance?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you got like 2 Smiths or something.
All right. So one more Bruins addition. Brian Giunta, free agent signing, 1 year, $700,000 for the rest of the season.
Why?
I mean, it's kind of pointless,
why?
but at the same time, I see what the idea is with it.
Well, yeah. The point is, so he's your guy sitting in the press box as a reserve instead of a kid from Providence. So that I like that because they want those kids playing like Sarnik and Fitzgerald.
Yeah, would you rather
and
him or
Jordan
Iggy?
Schwartz? I'd rather have Giunta. I'd rather have Giunta over it. Again, Giunta was skating with Rochester's AHL affiliate, or Buffalo's AHL affiliate in Rochester, and then played in the Olympics, albeit not very well, but he's been skating. So
He's in shape. Iginla's.
It's Iginla, not
I think
Iginla.
Iginla's older.
Iginla's Iginla's 2 years older,
And he's
or a
coming.
year.
And he's coming off of a hip surgery.
He's been skating for a week after hip surgery. So
I'll take Giunta.
I'll take Giunta,
especially for what you need him for.
yeah, and think like Shane Knighty back in 2011 played probably like 3 games in the playoffs.
Yeah, but if you need someone
Sheriff
to play, I don't know.
No, I think he's fine in
What's
a
out the
pinch.
window this week, Ryan?
We've had several
Nothing
characters
yet.
walking by.
Apparently Abe Lincoln.
Yeah,
in the
no.
Bears.
Yeah, or
There was a
Amish
guy-
Abe Lincoln.
There
Episode
was a
5
guy
of
who
What the
looked-
Hell's Out the Window?
There was a guy who looked like Abe Lincoln. And I was
Whoa,
Boys,
whoa,
You hate to
well, that's
see
it for me.
See ya. And also Paul Postma sent down to Providence. He's your last reserve defenseman, pretty much. And also Chris Breen signed. He's your last reserve defenseman. He's been playing in Providence for the last few years. Basically a non-move. Other moves around the league at the deadline. Vegas got Thomas Tatar from Detroit. He's a very good winger that Vegas is all in. Tatar also has a bit of playoff experience that helps with Vegas too. Winnipeg acquiring Paul Stastny from the St. Louis Blues.
That's going to be big for him.
Their St. Louis's top center, and Paul Stastny is going to be on a line with Patrick Laine, who scored, I think, 40, if not 39 goals as a rookie, and is well on his way to 40 this year. And Nikolai Ehlers, who scored 30 last year. And Paul Stastny is a great setup man, so just think about that in the West. Pittsburgh acquired Derek Brassard from Ottawa. So they go down the middle. They go Crosby, Malkin, 2 number 1 franchise centers, and then Derek Brassard, a low-end number 1 center, very good number 2 center. So just down the middle, that's absolutely absurd for Pittsburgh. Then, like, Brassard's had a down season, but he's clutch in the playoffs. We saw that in Ottawa last year. We got this troll out the window here.
Kern's not here.
Wow.
Ruthless.
Nashville
Sorry.
acquires Ryan Hartman from the Chicago Blackhawks. They weren't gonna. He's a very young winger. They weren't gonna resign. At least they weren't gonna pay him this summer because they're still always up against the cap, no matter what, even if they're selling parts. So that helps Nashville shore up their forward core.
And let's get to the big fish.
One more. Michael Grabner to the Devils for a second in the prospect. Bruins were gonna kick tires on him. I think that's why we have Nash instead of Grabner. Because apparently Rangers probably wanted Zaboral and Sweeney walked away. Good on him. Tampa Bay, Ryan McDonough and JT Miller for
2 firsts, basically, and
2019, or a first, a second. I think it's a conditional second.
A second's likely to convey to a first.
Yep. Conditional second. Vladislav Nemestikov, who's a top 6 forward, having a career year.
Gave up one of the top 2 prospects, I think.
They give up Brett Howden, who was a first-round pick last season, and some guy, I have no idea how to pronounce his name, a defensive prospect who was a second-round pick.
I heard that second round prospect, isn't he like compared to like McAvoy?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I heard he's like basically their equivalent of McAvoy.
I would say no. I don't think anybody equates to McAvoy, but okay.
But
so
down like next year or something, I don't know. I heard like
if he
around
even
the league,
makes it.
I heard around the league he's like really high.
I never heard of the guy.
No. Yeah. So I mean, obviously they got a hell of a haul, but at the same time they gave up a lot, which
They didn't really. If you see what...
Well, comparatively, it's like basically gave him an extra first and probably like Zaboral or another high like.
Yeah, comparatively
tier
for the
B
Bruins.
prospect.
For the Bruins, it's the picks. Spooner, like saying we don't make the Nash trade. Spooner. Lausen instead of Zaboral, I'd say. And I think maybe Zach Senyshyn.
I don't know. You'd probably have to give up. I feel like you'd have to give up something else in the prospect. So it's basically in addition to upgrade.
Probably
from
Trent
Nash.
Frederick instead of Senyshyn because his value's higher.
Yeah.
Anyways, that makes Tampa a legit contender. They have JT Miller, he's like a middle 6 forward. That's his best role, but he's playing like a top 6 forward right now. He's extremely streaky.
His stats are like, I think he has better numbers than Nash this year. If I'm not mistaken. He has like
Probably.
I think he has like 25 assists, something like that, and like 10 goals.
Well, Nash has 19 goals.
I don't
Let's look him up. I got him right here. He's got 13 goals, 27 assists, 40 points. So like, if you're valuing assists that much, then yeah, he's having a better year than Nash.
Just don't trade Spooner then.
Yeah, if you're gonna trade him for that. So McDonough's also hurt. He'll be out for like another week or so, probably after. I think the Bruins play Tampa Bay next. I'm not sure on that though. So moving on from the trade deadline, Patrice Bergeron. Fractured bone in his foot. He left Air Canada Center Saturday night with a walking boot. Played Sunday in Buffalo. And Monday morning Tuesday morning, Bruins announced he had a fracture in his foot. They'll reevaluate him in 2 weeks. So it's a double-edged sword. You have a big stretch coming up, big homestand. You need all the points you can get, especially after that loss in Toronto and that loss in Buffalo. But then you look at it the way Bruins are making the playoffs, 100% chance of making the playoffs. And you'll have a rested and healthy Patrice Bergeron if all else fails, if you have to keep him out the month for the playoffs.
It's worse things.
I'd rather have the injury happen now.
Yeah, worse things
have
could
something
happen.
for the playoffs.
Like Chara go down.
I mean, it's he played 18 minutes in Buffalo, so like it might not be a weight-bearing bone, and they're just keeping out as a precaution.
Bergeron. He's a grinder. He'll be out there.
Yeah, so like we said, Nash and Wingles making an impact right away. Riley Nash is actually sliding up into that first line center
I
spot.
was surprised. I thought it was gonna be backs.
No. Riley Nash brings a lot of the same characteristics as Bergeron. He's a very poor man's Patrice Bergeron. Like, if we're just going to keep rolling with that same comparison.
Homeless man's.
Yeah, homeless man's Patrice Bergeron. Yeah, he's very good in his own end. Brings a lot, like I said, a lot of the same characteristics. Not as much scoring, obviously, but on his own end, you can rely on him.
So I guess the Bergeron for the MVP.
Yeah,
award.
Bergeron for Hart, that's gone.
Yeah.
He quieted down too, so like that was going to go away. Charlie McAvoy is back to himself. It looks like after his heart procedure, scored a goal, scored the only goal in Buffalo, scored the game winner Tuesday night. And the thing with him is we've been looking for him to shoot more. I think he's 280 something out of 300 something NHL defensemen in shots or shot attempts per game. So we definitely want him shooting the puck more, which is
What he's starting to do.
what he's doing and why he scored in 2 games straight. He's not going to be like an Erik Karlsson. Like, Karlsson doesn't put up monster goals, or so we'll say Brent Burns. He's not going to be scoring 30 goals as a defenseman, but we want him shooting the puck and creating chances and rebounds from the point or off the rush because he can skate. So before we get into tonight's preview, what is goaltender interference? That's what ended the game with just over a minute left on Saturday night. Charlie McAvoy gets pushed into Tuukka Rask by Zach Hyman. Unfortunate last name. Especially if you play college hockey in this day and age, which he did.
I don't know. At least it's not the NFL catch rule.
It's
just
starting to
as
become
bad.
that. I think it might be worse.
Nothing's that bad.
Well, it's becoming that. It's been a problem all season long. We have Cam Talbot swearing to the media saying he doesn't care anymore.
That was a great rant.
It was awesome. And Tuukka Rask being so passive aggressive. I make
That was awesome.
I make the save if I'm able to get there. That's the story. Because
Nothing tops that.
if we're gonna call it sucks that it's a judgment call for the referees because it shouldn't be. Because every referee has a different opinion. We need something set in stone. This has been a problem all season long, especially for the Oilers. Cam Talbot has been gotten screwed on this game in so many games, and it's every referee calls it different. So the rule is. Or the ruling should have been, Zach Hyman pushed Charlie McAvoy into Tuukka Rask. The contact was created by Zach Hyman pushing McAvoy into Rask. So Rask Rask got up and recovered. So I guess the argument was Rask had enough time to get over and make the save when he really didn't, because a lot of the replays you saw in slow motion didn't do the play justice. That's really all I got to say. And Charlie McAvoy, after the game, I don't even know what goaltender interference is. So the players don't know. The coaches don't know. The referees don't know.
It's gonna have to be something that gets addressed over the offseason. There's gonna have to be some sort of meeting about it with, between refs,
This
the
won't
league,
go on
players.
next
You got to give give the situation room in Toronto a concrete call, and don't leave that call up to the officials. It can't be up to the officials. Everyone has a different opinion.
This won't be an issue next year.
It shouldn't be. If it is, there's a problem. In professional sports, what's a catch? What's goaltender interference?
Well, the catch rule, at least ironing out. Des caught it finally.
Yeah,
Only took
Dallas
3
fans.
years.
Des caught the ball. How do you guys feel?
Woo! And then also, if I can just have a quick Felger take.
No.
I think Felger's gonna be like, all right, now Buffalo is beating the Bruins in Tampa Bay back-to-back nights without Eichel, so they should trade Eichel. That's what Felger would say, and so I think the Bruins should capitalize on that.
All right, looking to tonight. Pittsburgh rolls into town. They're absolutely on fire. Evgeny Malkin is doing playoff Evgeny Malkin about 2 months early. We got everybody in the MVP conversation this year. We have Taylor Hall in New Jersey, who should get attention. Malkin's doing his thing. He's been absolutely absurd. But tonight you have no Danton Heinen for Bryant, and no Matt Grzelcyk. I guess Matt Grzelcyk's a little banged up. That's fine. Get Nick Holden in there, see what he can do. But tonight of all nights, Danton Heinen. I mean, Cassidy said it's a mental rest. Get the kid seeing the game from up top, because he's having his scoring's gone lately. He's struggling a bit, forcing the puck a little bit. But is this really the game you need to do that? I think Dan Heinen, no matter what, is better than Brian Giunta.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with
Why
that.
does Giunta have a goal and 2 assists tonight?
Yeah, watch him prove me wrong, as always. It's questionable. It should be a great game. 2 absolute powerhouses going at it. I think Rick Nash is going to have to step up big again. That Krejci line is going to have to come up big. Wingles.
I think they should come out with at least a point out of this game.
Yeah, they should come out with at least a point in the next 6 or the next 5 actually after this homestand.
Well, I mean, after tonight, they if they don't win the next 2 games,
Detroit, Chicago, Philadelphia,
well, they have Montreal in there too.
and Montreal. Yeah, all in the homestand.
Their next 2, I think, are Montreal, Detroit, then
Philly and Chicago.
Philly, Chicago.
Yeah, they should clean up.
3 of those are not playoff teams.
You also play a home and home against Chicago in the next 2 weeks.
So they'll
Yeah,
probably
so
split.
Chicago's
and then
last game
get
of the
another
homestand.
one.
Then, yeah, you need points, especially if you want at least the 2nd seed. I don't think you'll catch Tampa Bay at this point.
No, but honestly, I don't want to.
I don't want to either. I don't want the President's Trophy.
I
don't want it.
It's not good.
We saw what happened in 14-15.
Well, look at the team who wins it every year.
We see Washington. We saw the Rangers after the Bruins won it. I don't want it. I don't want the President's Trophy.
It's like the Madden curse for hockey.
Yeah.
You don't want the President's Trophy.
Yeah, exactly. Celtics, as Bruins eat 25 minutes on the dot. Celtics post All-Star break, winning streak. We're back on track. What do we guys?
All right, I'm thankful Karn's not here because
Ryan sees something he likes.
I'm gonna have
really hoping
to
to get
say
hit.
Marcus Smart is
Darn.
An idiot.
Unbelievably well. Yeah, he's an idiot, but he's unbelievably important to this team, and it's like I don't like it because I don't really like him that much.
Yeah.
But after watching them without him on defense and then watching him in the past 3 games with him back, it's night and day.
Yeah. And Kyrie's back to putting up the numbers he should be putting up. Tatum's still on that rookie wall.
Yeah, he faded fast.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
A lot faster than I thought. I mean, he's been averaging right around probably in that 7 to 12 point range over the past month and a half, 2 months, and he's still at 13.4 points a game for the year, which is unbelievable considering how mediocre he's been over the past month or so.
I mean, he'll get out of this slump, and then anything from there is just extra, considering the team as is without him and Hayward, who, I mean, he's looking pretty good now. Hayward, he should be back.
I still think
If he's not back, I'm going to be disappointed.
Everybody's saying, I mean, Ainge just come out and said he's not coming back. Stevens
that
has said
should
he's
just
not
be
coming back.
smokescreen.
Yeah, no.
Who?
I'd be
Ainge
genuinely
and Brad
surprised
Stevens will say he's
if he
not coming
doesn't
back.
come.
About who?
Hayward.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be genuinely
I mean,
surprised if
tuned
he
out
doesn't
for a
play.
second. Yeah, they get to double the narrative that we don't expect him back.
Right.
But we're not,
It's-
but he's progressing wonderfully.
They've essentially ruled it out. I still think there's a slim chance. I mean, if they don't get him back, I'm not preparing.
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I'm not preparing for him to be back,
Yeah.
but I still think there's a chance.
I think next year's your big window, with everybody healthy and whoever you
Window's
bring
open
in.
now.
I mean, it's open now, but I think it's going to be wide open next year. And Jaylen Brown I thought
he had a good night last night. He's strung
Yeah,
together.
He's
few
had a
good
couple
games in
good
a row.
games lately.
since the All-Star break, he went 8 in Detroit, 24 or against the Knicks, 13 against the Grizzlies, and 15 last night. So he was a little. I'm looking at his stats of all the games leading up to the All-Star break, and they're a lot better than I thought they would be.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you looking at his advanced metrics?
No, and I'm looking at his points and rebounds.
You're not a true nerd then.
I'm not.
Karn would be disappointed.
Karen would be so disappointed. The only stats of advanced measures I know are hockey.
Honestly, the only thing I think is holding Brown back from being an all-star caliber player is his shooting. It's good. It's good when it's good, but when it's not, he's very streaky.
Well, that's
and
just
He's
any
also
young
like
player.
the third, fourth option
yeah,
too.
exactly. He's also young, so you give it time, but
Mhm.
he's definitely he could be a lot. And what he showed over the past couple of games is what he can be.
4
And it's
to
just-
7
he's
field
gotta-
goals.
He's
last
got to
night.
keep stringing these kind of games together and become more
The
consistent.
Celtics' future is going to be nice, especially in 2 years.
He's just an athlete too. Jaylen Brown, put him in any sport, I think he'd be good.
You really just drawing stereotypes like that, what is it, the NFL Combine, NFL GMs? He's an athlete. Great player.
Look at him. Look at how athletic he is. He's an athlete. That's really all you can say about him, I think. But if you go back his shooting, if you go back to the beginning of last season,
He's an intelligent athlete.
yeah, gets around the edge quickly. Ooh. Read that in
Did you see how
Mel Kiper's voice.
Did you see what the guy said to him? Because it was after it was shut up and dribble, someone goes, as an intelligent athlete, what are your takes on this?
What was that to LeBron?
No, to Brown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, he does kind of look like a smart kid. Probably
He
is.
went to Cal.
Literally, that was a thing. He was too smart for basketball because he was like chess god. He could probably beat Ryan.
Ooh.
Okay.
Challenge.
Actually, I could beat Ryan. So.
Or his DMs open on Twitter? Let's see that. But
Just
yeah,
another note on last night's game. I thought Greg Monroe easily his best game since he's come to the
Yeah.
Celtics.
Yeah.
He absolutely abused Willie Hernangomez in the first
And
half.
that's what we needed. We need someone like that to just come off the bench and be a force in the paint inside, which is pretty much, we've been saying that all season. That's what we've lacked. Finally, we got someone like that. And then, Baines is good, but he's in the starting. I wouldn't say Baines.
If you ask Karn, he's
I wouldn't say
unreal.
Baines has been exceptional
I don't
this year.
think
He's
Baines
been
is starting.
He's good.
He's been solid.
He's good.
He's been more than good. He's been great
He's
relative to
kinda
what we
there.
He's a good
relative
player.
to what we expected this season. He's been great. I would say relative. He's been good overall. His defense has been. I agree with Kern. His on-off splits, the stats don't show it, but like he's been doing all the subtle stuff, sort of like an Al Horford light, like controlling the
White.
paint.
He's
The white Al Horford.
He's a good player
With a man
Like,
bun and
I mean,
Australian.
he's-
Can't shoot for shit,
for
though.
what he's
my
got a
bad.
good.
My bad, guys.
Yeah, it's a
Come on,
family
man,
program.
Clean it up. He's good. He's got a good mid-range game. He's not, he's not a lot of finesse inside, but if you can keep him at the free throw line, he's, a good rebounder, good defender.
Yep.
He's a good, solid player.
He's a glue guy. Another.
Yeah, last night for going back to Greg Monroe. Last night 14 and 4, 6 for 9 field goals. Nice. 21 minutes and 2 assists.
So let's get into. So are we in agreement? This is more or less going to be the team that the Celtics bring into the playoffs and the finals.
This
Do you
is
think
this is absolutely the team that's going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think
see
they're-
the
I don't see
buyout
that
market's
anymore.
starting to pick up though a little bit.
I mean, I wouldn't rule him out for Corey Brewer. I brought that
Oh
up
no,
to you guys.
the Corey Brewer signed today.
Who did he sign
Did he?
with?
Thunder.
Oh, all right. Well, scratch that then.
But yeah, is there anyone else we see on the buyout market
I
potentially?
mean, there's really nobody out there
is
right
Tony
now.
Allen still out there?
No.
Or did he sign?
Was he ever out there?
Yeah,
I don't think he was.
He got bought out.
All right. Well, he's
Really?
out. He's out there.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of
That's-
somebody else.
That's
Never mind.
that's really about it.
Well, no one wants Derrick Rose. So
It's they have a good thing going right now.
I don't think you want to put
I
Derrick
wouldn't
Rose in that
s-
locker room.
You don't
With
want
Brad, too.
Derrick Rose anywhere near your
I
team.
mean, you could say, like, Brad can make something out of him.
Tony
but
Allen's still
I
a
don't
free
know.
agent.
I mean, you could look at Tony Allen.
I don't know if we need another guard though.
We don't.
You could use his defense.
Rozier's been playing out of his mind. He's
but
average.
honestly, I don't see him making any additions unless something drastic happens and somebody gets bought out. I think this is the team that you're going to see in the playoffs and however far they go.
Yeah. Stats for Rozier. He has. Let me find it. I don't think you need another guard. Rozier has double digits.
No, you
in-
have too many already.
I know. Rozier. This is going back to Google. Only has up to February 4th up. February
Go on
4th.
Basketball Reference.
Yeah, I'm kind of lazy. All right. So I'm just gonna superficially. I'll get into more details on Basketball Reference. From February 4th to February 28th, Rozier has double digits in every single game. How's that?
That's impressive. Those are the games he started too, right? Or are we just counting?
I'm just looking at every game, not just
Okay.
games he started. So
Because
we
he
gotta
was
scroll
averaging
down.
right around 20 points a game when he was starting.
Yep. So Basketball Reference only has up to the 23rd. So we'll scroll back to February 4th.
I mean, for the season, he's averaging 10.3 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists.
I heard a
with-
rumor
he's
that
shooting
they might consider
40%.
buying out Tyreek.
I brought that up. I think they would have done it by now.
I don't know. I mean, the buyout's just starting to get picked. Oh wait, never mind. Today at 4 was the deadline to sign and be in the playoffs anyway. So yeah, this is a team.
Yeah. So this is what you're going to see in the playoffs. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Monroe was really the only one
yeah,
that I
that's
was
all
saying
you
let's
really
go
need.
sign because they
Yeah.
needed another guy to just clog up the middle.
So yeah, right now the Celtics as a whole are in pretty good shape. Everyone all around the league has their issues. The Cleveland seems to be coming back down to earth recently. Let's get into this offseason. So, Kawhi, David, I believe are the one who brought it up.
Yeah,
potentially
I
getting
would.
Kawhi, you want to talk about that?
If Anthony Davis isn't made available, then I think you got to look into Kawhi because there's a clear rift between him and San Antonio. He's been cleared by doctors for at least a couple of weeks with his quad injury. Has still decided he doesn't want to come back. Greg Popovich has been asked about it. He's kind of been a little snide with the comments. He doesn't seem too happy with Kawhi right now. And so, I mean, they fielded calls around the deadline about him. Nothing super serious. Nothing ever really stuck. But just the fact that they were fielding calls should show you that they're looking to move on if the deal's right. And I think if it comes down to the point where, Smart's going to cost you in that, $14 million a year range,
Move him.
you can move him for Kawhi because
Expendable.
You're getting that same level of defense from Kawhi Leonard. They're both top 3
I
defenders.
just say Kawhi's a
think
better
about your
defender.
star.
Yeah, no, Kawhi's definitely a better defender. I'd say they're both, in the top 5 for defenders in the league. Kawhi's definitely better, and Kawhi's giving you all-star caliber offense as well.
Who are you giving up for him, though?
Definitely give up.
Smart's a restricted free agent. So say they
You'd
Smart's
have to-
rights.
You'd have to give up Brown or Tatum to
say
get Kawhi.
say they decide to, match an offer for Smart, bring him back. Then you use him, you spin that around, you trade him, maybe include a pick, because I don't think they're.
There's no way they accept that without Brown or Tatum. They need to get a.
I think you
they
could.
need to get a high end wing back. Because who do they?
I mean,
have?
I'd give him Brown for Kawhi. Brown, out of Tatum and Brown to me is a lot more expendable. His ceiling's a lot lower than Tatum's.
Yeah, but imagine a defense with Brown and Kawhi.
I mean, I'd rather have Tatum's longer.
I guess you're right.
He's longer.
I guess
think,
you're right, and then Tatum can play the
Because
four.
if you think about it, with your starting lineup, say you trade Brown and Smart for Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, and then you have Hayward back at 2 and Brown's.
Your starting 5 is going to be Kyrie at the 1. Probably, I would assume maybe you could put Tatum or Kawhi at the 2.
No,
it'd be
Hayward. Kyrie at the 1, Hayward at the 2,
Hayward at the 2,
Kawhi at the 3, Tatum
at
at the 4, and then
5.
Jesus Christ.
Now,
That starting 5.
That's kind of shooting for the stars there, but it's definitely something.
think I
It's
need to
definitely
change
something you
my
got to look
pants.
into.
Yeah.
Also, I'd say for speaking of the offseason, the draft, honestly, their chances of getting the Lakers pick right
That's
now are
like
they're-
gone.
it's under 10%.
The Lakers went on like a nice run.
It's like
while
it's a 3-horse race right now for the number 1 pick between Memphis, Atlanta.
the Lakers are hanging around there
Chicago's
for a
in
while,
there,
too.
Dallas. It's you got like 6 or 7 teams that are just going for it right now.
Yeah, we're not getting any of these stars.
So the Celtics pick is going to be bottom of the first round probably in that.
Yeah.
Just
Again, that
trade
25. 20, no, I wouldn't try. There's a kid from Notre Dame. I brought him up the other night. Bonzi Colson,
Oh yeah.
who's coming off. He's actually played last night against Pitt. He's a senior at Notre Dame. Broke his foot this year, so he's only played in 14 games. But in those 14 games, he's averaged 21 and 10. 6'5", 225. He could definitely play the 2, maybe the 3. He's kind of not the most athletic guy, but he can score, he can rebound. His junior season, full season, he averaged 17.8 points a game and like 5 rebounds. So his numbers from his freshman year up have been getting better and better every year. So he still hasn't like topped out even as a senior. I think because of the broken foot, he's definitely going to drop a ton. So I would expect to see him there late first round into the second. So if you can get him, I'd be all for it.
Speaking of which, I just read something. And you guys listen to Touch and Rich this morning?
Nope.
Ainge basically just denied, said that Hayward's not coming back this year. He said he hasn't even
I
gone to
can live with
putting
that.
pressure on that. Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it would have been nice.
I
would've
don't
been awesome.
I don't really expect him to come back anymore, but I'm not going to rule it out because I think the Celtics are doing what any team would do. You limit expectations to 0, so that way if he's ready, he's ready, and if he's not, he's not, and nobody's like, oh, but you said he was coming back.
Yeah, he
Limits the hype, too.
He said, quote, he's going through a real transition in that he's putting more and more weight in the ankle, trying to get on the court. He's still not up to doing any live action to court except for shooting and some ball handling, so he's got a long way to go, end quote. So, I mean, that's obviously not the most encouraging, but...
I mean, if he's out, he's out. If he's not, he's not. They have a good team right now. I think you should still, with this group, they're still better than last year. You should still see them in the Eastern Conference Finals, and honestly, they should win.
Yep.
Because Toronto's right now a better team.
Mm-hmm.
They've been probably the most
I can
consistent.
see
They've
Toronto
been
going
the
to
best.
7.
They've been the best team in the Eastern Conference wire to wire so far this year. Most consistent. They really haven't had too many ups, too many downs. But they're good every year, kind of under the radar because it's not really a basketball town. But every year they find a way to throw up on themselves in the playoffs.
Of course, yeah.
Can I just take the glass half full, half empty argument? I kind of can see the Raptors right now beating the Celtics in a 7-game series in the playoffs. Right now,
They could. I think they have the best.
I'm like
the best
very
chance.
like right now. Like that's what my guts tell me they're gonna lose in 7 in the Eastern Finals to the Raptors.
They
I
just
can
always
see the
feel like-
Raptors making the finals this year.
They always feel like the Washington Capitals, though.
That's actually a good comparison. They kind of are though.
San Jose.
They're kind of the Capitals of the NBA.
Well, no, San Jose had.
Washington, San Jose of the East.
They're good all year. They kind of throw up on themselves in the playoffs. Lose some games they shouldn't lose.
Yeah.
But
Also, back to the draft, I guess. That was like the bottom 4 teams in the league have lost like a combined 27 games or something like
The
that.
bottom 5 have
In a row.
lost 34.
In a row?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
the teams that are really going for it right now, Dallas, I think right now is the best odds, but it's going to be Dallas, Memphis, Chicago is in that mix. Brooklyn's in that mix.
Brooklyn,
Atlanta.
Brooklyn's on that
Atlanta's
mix
right
because
there.
they don't have their own pick. I think right now they only have like the 8th.
I'm
worst
talking
record.
about like they're like where they're gonna fall because of their record. Cleveland's gonna get the pick. Obviously.
Yeah, but right now they only have like the 8th worst record. They're not in the mix like entirely. There's like 2 tiers. There's like the like low tier, and then there's like the tier 1A.
All right, moving on. Patriots. David, you can talk to this. You kind of had the most coverage in the group chat. Rob Gronkowski. What's happening?
Okay, so the past 2 days, Ian Rappaport and today Adam Schefter both said everybody they've talked to has said he's coming back to
Okay.
football. Not necessarily the Patriots, but you'd expect the Patriots would re-sign him. So it's pretty much a given. But
Could go to the
Right.
Arena League.
right after the Rappaport tweet came out and the story came out and everything, I think it was a couple hours after, Rob Gronkowski tweeted #clueless with the arm shrugging emoji.
Jesus Christ.
So, take that
That's
for
subtle.
what you will. I don't know if it seemed like a pretty direct shot at the Rappaport claims.
Rappaport should get fired again.
Also, before that, he had tweeted some inspirational quote that honestly I think he took off the back of Fortune Cookie.
Yep.
It really sounds
Does
like
Rob
it.
Gronkowski eat Chinese food? Do you
Gronk's-
really think
Gronk's
that?
been binge eating Chinese food? A lot of Fortune Cookies lately going down on him. It's
4 choice words, but
yeah.
keep going.
Nope.
I
Anyway.
stand by my claim.
Yep.
Maybe
So
not
anyway,
Chinese food, but
So anyway, he tweeted something else like a couple of
Then he
days after
tweeted out
that.
some like UFC,
No,
some
he
what was it,
tweeted
some
a
like
couple
WWE
days,
guy.
a couple of days after that. He tweeted something about like there are no limits is what he tweeted, and next Sunday the WWE is having their last pay-per-view, their go-home pay-per-view before WrestleMania, and it's called Fastlane. The tagline for Fastlane is "There are no limits." So
Awesome.
Again, more cryptic tweets from Gronk.
could be
It might just be the Isaiah with the eye emojis last
Yeah,
year.
Yeah, he could be just trolling us at this point.
It could be a complete troll job, but at the same time, you kind of have to you have to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I kind of am starting to lean towards
I'm
he's just
worried.
trolling us.
One of his best friends, Mojo Rawley's a WWE superstar. So
Yeah, well,
I'm
he's
worried.
He's also
Yeah,
guest.
I'm slamming
Wasn't
the
he at
pants
like
button.
WrestleMania? Or, like
he was.
SummerSlam?
Yeah, he was at WrestleMania last year. He didn't participate in a
actually do
match.
anything? Yeah.
But like he hopped over the fence and like helped his friend win a match.
It's Gronk though. He's a smart guy. He knows how to like, get in charge.
Can you use words like that in a sentence? Like together? Is that something?
I just
you-
did.
He's a smart guy.
Okay.
Well,
Nah.
I mean, if you look at how he like does his finances and whatnot, you've heard the story.
Yeah,
I think he does that himself.
I don't think he does that himself. I think
No, he's
I think
whole
he obviously
family.
he has an idea. He has to.
Well, obviously,
I mean-
he's not an idiot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel like
he's kind of a
he's
brick,
like
but okay.
he could be more than like what we're giving him credit for. I feel
Yeah.
like he honestly knows how to get people's attention, knows how to stay relevant. Just
I think
I feel like he's just trying to like leverage this into like getting more attention.
I'm
or,
taking
like-
it extremely seriously at
Yes.
this point, and I'm definitely starting to panic a little bit because if you think he's had 3 major back surgeries since he's come into the league, an arm surgery, a concussion most recently,
ACL. Two,
it's-
actually.
It's piling up.
The more this goes on, I'm on like other. I feel like the
He's-
longer it takes, the less serious it is.
and honestly, the Patriots are kind of into the whole let's pass up on great players kind of deal right now.
Yeah.
Marcus Peters.
question mark.
So
Well, I mean,
it's-
they could have drafted.
Let's not start good players
I
either.
read something they took him off the draft board a couple years ago. So I mean,
too soon.
It'll be interesting. I'm leaning probably 70-30 that he's not coming back.
going back to the Marcus
Wow.
Peters, though,
I'm
there's a-
stressed.
I am too, but I don't know if I'm 70-30.
Nah, since he came out with that "there are no limits" tweet and then the clueless thing, it's just I'm on an emotional roller coaster right now with Rob Gronkowski.
You've been
I think you need to
clear.
get Malcolm
Jimmy Graham.
no, what's his Bennett? What's
Martellus.
Martellus?
yeah,
I don't
the,
know. I just drew a blank for
The
a second.
roster,
He
the
said he's
roster
gonna play.
bonuses kick in March 14th, so they basically have another like week and a half to decide
Bennett
if they
said
want
he
to keep
wants
him or
to
not.
come
Bennett,
back.
Bennett wants to come back. I think you need him back.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to keep him if they're not. If you see them cut Bennett, I'm gonna
Say Gronk's back.
flip and say Gronk's coming back.
But I also think a full year of Bennett and Gronk as your tandem.
I think
Just
that's,
think about that.
Yeah, that's good. You don't want Bennett as your number one.
It's better.
Not anymore.
Jimmy Graham and Gronk.
I don't see that working.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. Those guys need to be starting.
It's
Both of them.
One of them.
They'd make it work.
They could.
They'd 100% make
I
it
mean,
work.
it's a good problem to have. I don't see them doing it unless I don't see them going out to get Jimmy Graham unless Gronk's not coming back, because then there's that need. If
Yep.
Gronk's coming back, there's not really the need, and you can get away. They won a Super Bowl with Gronk and Bennett. You can get away with that clearly. And right now, San Francisco has the most cap room in the NFL. They're going after, I think,
Cleveland.
Lewis they've been rumored with.
Yep.
Jimmy Graham is, I think, their top target among a couple other guys.
Jimmy Graham's a mercenary at this point, I feel.
I think if you stack
Especially with the Garoppolo, I feel like
if you stack an offense with Jimmy Garoppolo, Dion Lewis, and Jimmy Graham as your top three,
Yeah.
and then you draft a wide receiver, which would probably be that kid Calvin Ridley out of Alabama, I think
Yeah.
you're in business.
Well, do they like? No, Ridley. I've heard rumors. Where are they picking this year? Like 10?
They're, I think.
Actually, yeah, that's about the range I heard.
They're 8 or 9.
Oh no, that's right. They have a coin toss for the 9 or 10 pick today. That's right. And yeah, actually, that's the range that Ridley could go in. He might go higher actually because he's a top receiver, and this is a weak receiver class in general. So they might have to move up to get him. But if he falls, I can see that happening.
Yeah, there's 2 first-round quality wide receivers. It's Calvin Ridley, and then there's another kid from SMU.
Yeah, and I think there's a third one too who like impressed today. I'm not positive on that though.
Yeah, no. So we're getting into the draft now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we wrap things up.
All
And
right. I'd say they're either going. I would expect them to either go corner or quarterback in the first round.
Yep.
If they go quarterback, I would
Mason Rudolph.
I would expect them to take Mason Rudolph. I think he's going to be there at that point. And to be honest, for whatever reason, he's extremely underrated. I think he's the second or third best quarterback in this draft, behind maybe Josh Rosen's my number 1.
Quarterback from Richmond.
Yeah, no chance. I'd say maybe. I mean, you could make the argument Josh Allen's better or has a higher ceiling, which I think is that's true. So he's probably my third best.
Can I just
quarterback
mention
in
a
the
name I'm kind of surprised no one's mentioned? Luke Falk out of Washington State. He took a lot of sacks, and that's kind of like it's like topping against him. But overall, his stats are like he has the intangibles, obviously, which are very similar to Rudolph's. At the same time, he obviously another high-end quarterback. Doesn't seem to be as like obviously as more like risk. At the same time, he wouldn't cost as much as Rudolph.
Right.
Probably get him like the third round.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for the next guy, though, you might want to go first round just on that. And Rudolph he can throw the deep ball. He's good across the middle. He's good decision making. Can run when he needs to. He's got decent legs, but he's not run first, pass second.
Is he good peeling out to the left though?
Oh, you bet.
Like the quarterback from Richmond.
I'm actually reading
you bet.
reading up
Oh,
on
of
Falk
course.
right now. It's actually his report sounds a lot like Garoppolo. Solid mechanics, extremely quick release, very accurate quarterback, isn't afraid, solid decision maker, very experienced QB, 4-year starter, throws with good timing and anticipation. His one downside is lacks exceptional arm strength on deep balls and slender build and poor protection, which I don't know, that's him.
Yeah, I mean,
That sounds-
it's kind of a toss up. I would like them to get Rudolph. He's my guy as far as quarterbacks in this draft. Another direction they could go, I said, was defensive back and the kid out of Colorado, Isaiah Oliver.
Oh yeah,
He's-
he won't last.
He's a decent build. He's gonna go.
I can't see
bottom of the
all of it
first round.
lasting that long.
The only thing on him is he got hit with a ton of pass interference calls last year.
I feel like he won't last at the Pats. They can always go later on too. Cornerback, I feel like they'll address in free agency because remember they just drafted Cyrus Jones a couple of years ago. He's coming back finally.
Cyrus Jones is horrible. They got him to be a punt returner.
Nah,
I mean, he
well,
can't
well,
play. He cannot play cornerback in the NFL.
we also haven't seen him take a snap at cornerback. In the
Yeah,
NFL,
I mean,
but
he took, like,
I'm
a
already out
couple-
on that.
I feel like they took him with the idea of having him go for Butler.
He's not going to be. He's not going to be
I don't
starting
know.
corner.
I don't think
But
so.
I at least give him a look. I feel like they'll address that in free agency more so than anything in the draft. And look towards linebacker, which I saw a kid from Alabama. Let me pull it up today.
There was a kid to Sam Hubbard, defensive end from Ohio State.
Yeah,
Who
I
actually
s-
my last mock draft I had them taking at 31, and he's solid around the edge, can get to the quarterback. He's good in the run game too. It's not a bad.
If he
choice
lasted
they've
at
set
Pats,
that
I
way.
really want them to go with Sean Evans out of Alabama. Kid's slight. I've seen Pat Chung, like bigger Pat Chung comparisons.
Yeah, there's
The
a
kid's
shot.
thumper.
I think he's gonna go more middle of the 20s. Then
They
he
wanna
is
move up,
dropping
though.
down.
But I mean, he can play, and Alabama kids always get linked to the Patriots for obvious reasons. And then even later on, if they want to go, Shareem Griffin, who finally got to the combine late, and I mean he has one hand, but
Yeah,
at the
that's
same time,
that's gonna be like a 5th to 7th round choice right there.
that's why I said if they want to go later.
Yeah.
But he can play. I mean, there's
I mean,
really,
yeah, if
other than
they
the
want to-
hand, he really
if
has
they
no.
want to take a flyer on him in the anywhere from the 5th to the 7th round, I'm cool
I just
with that.
feel like
or
he's-
sign, or if he doesn't go, if he goes undrafted, which is a very real possibility, I wouldn't mind signing.
I feel like he's gonna be one of those players that gets drafted late for like no obvious reason, but at the same time just balls out and like, I don't know. I just big fan of his game. If you just watch him, he can play. That's
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways they can go
Yeah.
with this
I
next year.
definitely feel like they go either O line or linebacker in the first round, and then address receiver and corner in free agency, and also safety. There's a really deep safety class, especially young. Just name a few: LaMarcus Joyner, Morgan Burnett, Kenny Vaccaro, Erica Reed, and Trey Boston. All the free agents here. All are played at a high level at a young age in the league. I can definitely see the Patriots taking a flyer on one of them. So, I mean, there's really not too many holes. D-line, once it gets healthy, they can probably get another D-end. That's another option, but it's pretty much down to linebacker, O-line
you
at this
can
point.
you can look at they have Solder, who's a free agent right now, so kind of gauge the market, see what his deal is. If you don't think he's coming back, which I mean, I think he's coming back, but if you don't think you're going to be able to bring him back next year, you could go O-line, probably 2nd round.
Nah, Soldier they'll bring back, especially with Garcia, who they drafted to be a potentially developmental guy to take his place. Missed last season, lung clots. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Lost 40 pounds in the last year. I don't. He's gonna need some time coming back. Then Fleming and Waddle, your other two tackles, they're both out. I mean, free agents. So I mean, you kind of have to pay the man, and it's not gonna be too much too. His current deal only paid him like $5 million. I can see him going for $4 million. It won't be a lot.
Yeah, no, I would like him to bring him back. I think he's coming back. If for whatever reason by the draft something changes and they don't think he's coming back, which I don't see happening.
The tackle class is atrocious this year. I can't stress that
there's
enough.
3 guys right at the top who are all unbelievable. It's the 2 kids from Notre Dame.
One guy's guard.
There's
and
a
then
kid from
one
Texas.
guy, the guy from Texas, Brown, I believe.
Connor Williams from Texas.
Connor Williams. Oh, and the guy from Oklahoma. He had like 14 reps on the bench press. He's not going to follow 30 though, especially if all 3 such high ceilings. Every team needing them. I can't see any of those making it out of the top like 12.
Yeah, that's true.
Draft.
And again,
and
I
after
mean,
that, there's no real solid guy until like the 4th round. You're not going to find a starter that late.
well, if there's no solid guy, why don't you just take one of the solid guys in the 2nd?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's
just
what it comes
just
down
a
to.
thought.
So wrapping up here, we got the NCAA probe. Any quick words on that?
Pretty much he said.
Arizona
she said at this
is
point.
screwed.
You see,
Yep.
no. Miller's coming back, and then he basically said that it was just slandered by ESPN. Then ESPN refuted that and basically said, "Nope, you're lying."
I mean, if they have,
That's
if-
gonna be
if-
interesting.
If the FBI has a wiretap on him saying he's going to give DeAndre Ayton $100,000 to play for him, they're absolutely screwed.
Now, what is this like a who was the guy? Donald Sterling a couple years ago.
This is nothing like that.
Where it's
That
just
was
we're
he was
recording it. Some
just
I
being
don't
a
know.
racist.
I don't know. It's like,
I don't know. Quick hit.
I mean, this is paying
or
college players.
2 quick hits. Robert Kraft his girlfriend had a kid.
Not his kid.
They're saying it's not his biological
Not
how
father.
does
his
that
kid.
work? They've been dating for 5 years.
So
They
it's
were on a
probably
break.
like there's no way he can get a girl pregnant still at 76.
There was a thing. It's
Hey,
page,
Mick Viagra
Jagger did
spokesman.
it.
page
Yeah, Mick
6.
Jagger did
Page
it.
6 at some weird website was the one that broke this story. And
Probably went to a sperm bank or something's going
and
on.
He's
the
better
thing
get a
was
new,
they apparently
sponsorship from
they took
Viagra.
a break, and in that time she went and got pregnant.
All right, yeah.
So
he bought
it's-
her a mansion though, and he's providing for her.
It's
that's
he's
good.
he's providing for the child. It's not his kid though.
Yep.
It's a trophy wife. Like,
Obviously, she's like 38.
no,
and
I'm
he's
just
29.
saying
26.
he doesn't really care. He isn't like that invested. Like,
Yeah, she wanted a
emotionally.
kid too.
Yeah, it's
Emotionally.
honestly, I feel like it's a non-story. I saw she had the kid like last fall. So like,
Yeah, completely
this
under the
is
radar.
like this is
out of
kind
the
of
public
like
eye completely.
This is kind of just a weird story that just popped up.
he changed
We
his
need
will.
some excitement.
He changed
Yeah,
his
it's
will
it's a slow
to
news
put the
day.
kid in it. His
It's
grown
the-
sons
the-
are all upset that
Yeah, the
he
Kraft
changes his
family
state.
trust.
All right. So the Roger Goodell, Jerry Jones civil war continues. I love it.
It's just I don't like. What's the point? This like
Why not?
It's
this
out
is
of
all
spite.
Why not?
this
It's
is
out
all
of
over
spite.
6
Who
games.
doesn't like fighting Roger Goodell?
That's true. It's always a good
Like,
time.
anytime you get Roger Goodell getting slapped in the face and slapping someone back, it's always a good time.
Just the definition of a civil war. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
Then that leads to Papa John's. You see
Yeah,
Papa
they
John's
switched.
You see a
is
conspiracy.
gone.
Jerry
It's Pizza
Jones is the
Hut
one
now.
who told Papa John to get upset
To
over
go
the
screw.
whole. No, he's the one who told him to be upset over the whole national anthem thing, and then that led him to leaving. And now they got
Your
Pizza
pizza
Hut.
sucks anyways.
Then Pizza Hut
So
the
does
next
Pizza Hut.
That's also
the
true.
next
You saw
day they
Portnoy's
signed
review,
Pizza Hut to be a
1.8.
new sponsor. That's
Portnoy gave it a 1.8.
It's also
It's not
true.
good.
That's not
No.
good. That's not good at all.
Portnoy's Bible.
What?
Pizza scale 1.8. You don't want that.
Was it higher than Papa John's though?
I think it was. I think Papa John's was like 0.7.
Is there even
Oh.
a Papa John's around here? I've never
There's
seen
one in Boston.
I've never
It's
seen
like
one.
it was at the beginning of the year when Celtics and like Bruins were winning. It was Pashnak and like Tatum like use code whatever to get 25% off your order after wins. But that was because we need business because nobody in Boston
Yeah.
knows we exist.
Jerry Jones owns like 200 Papa John's. I saw somewhere.
All right, I think that does it.
So any last words, Ryan? I haven't heard you at all today.
See ya.
He's thinking about the Regina pizza we're gonna pick up on the way home. Now that's a pizza.
I hate pizza.
I gave it a
Wait, what?
7.7. I think 7.8.
In your
I'm in the
esteemed
eights, I forget
pizza
what I
Yeah,
gave it.
I'm definitely
Yeah,
in my
pizza
eights.
opinion.
Not only the
I think
North
I
End
gave
one.
it an
The
8.7.
North End one is elite. Everything else is just eh.
Yeah, the one in Pocari's on Route 1.
Yeah,
so
that's where I got it.
that's still really good.
It's not the same as the original.
Santarpio
pizza.
sucks unless you go to the original
Santarpio's
location.
Balls.
Unless you go to the
one at
original location. The one on Route
yeah.
1's terrible.
The one on Route 1 is just not good.
It used to be. I went back for like the first time in years the other
Hey,
a couple weeks ago.
You know what's pretty good? Show you Chinese food. That is amazing.
Route 1. Oh yes. Shameless plugs. Hopefully we can get some sponsors in here.
Is that where Gronk's getting his fortune cookies?
No, they have chocolate fortune cookies.
I don't know how I feel
I
about
know
those.
where
Okay,
we're going
we're-
now.
Yeah, I really don't know how I feel
they
about
We've
those.
fallen off a cliff.
Oh, they're amazing.
We've fallen off a cliff
They're
here.
great.
All right, that does it for us. Hopefully we'll be back next week with more good news. Check out the site, www.beantownsportshub.wordpress.com, the Twitter, @BeantownSportsH, and the Instagram, @Beantown_SportsHub. Thanks for listening.
Play clock at 5.